All right, so we back with the ever astonishing chronicles of the living God, right? Because he is a living being, you know what I'm saying? We gotta understand all the aspects that he encompasses. Not much different than what we encompass ourselves, right? We're made in his image. And I was trying to get back onto the, was it 2 days ago? We was talking about how all of the gods are just aspects of his personality, and in the same way you are too. So, you know, embrace yourself. But I was talking about like how the gods or their titles of each iteration would have like you can, if you go back up the tribes and see where theologies or where the Israelites came through, what nations they went through, you'll probably get the more accurate order of like which set of deity expressions came forward. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's because God does things in order. So, you know, came out of Babylon and Egypt. Those would have been two probably prominent theologies in the beginning. You got Zoroastrianism. I think everything kind of like correlates into those three. And what I've seen is that mainly like it's mostly done in threes. Like if you look at what happened with Christ after his death, when Israel was supposed to be that like that new melting pot of the nations combining their theology of God and their experience of God, and then the other nations coming together to formulate that. The Hebrews and the Jews, they lived a very strict and rough life, and a lot of the things that without the Spirit you would have considered absolute blasphemy, right? Like a king being a priest, that was unheard of, right? But he got it in order from John the Baptist, right? To call him both of those things, they would have it would have took some mental agility to get there, right? So they just weren't ready, and when they weren't, God has a substitute, right? When Abel died, Seth was the substitute. He was the one who could fill in that role until it could be accomplished again, right? So going on the basis of threes, right? What happened was, since Israel couldn't really fulfill that at the time necessary, God chose two other nations to do it, right? Because they're siblings, you're made out of the same shit, right? So you can do it. And what it did was it consolidated and brought together a lot of opposing religions. From Christianity, you had like, you know, it colonized and spread throughout, you know, Europe into Asia, and the same can be said about Islam. Latin and Arabic, it created a new system of like of togetherness, right? Like Arabic, the sciences like blew up, numbers, calculations. It really revolutionized the Middle East and Africa and parts of Asia, and so did Christianity. So what he was doing was, he was like, okay, so the Jews can't really do it right now, and I expected this, so I'm gonna have these two people groups do it, and now it's time for the Israelites to do that, right? And like a side note, there were actually 3 Israelite kingdoms. It's like a hidden one, right? We don't speak about, but it exists. So you had, after the separation, you had the kingdom of Judah and the kingdom of Israel. But you also had the kingdom of Sheba, which was established and founded just as much as so when Sheba came, they had a son, right? And Solomon didn't just leave his son, who's of the tribe of Judah, right? The line of David. He didn't just leave his son without any understanding of his faith. He put he put Levites. He gave a whole slew of Levites. So he had his version of a high priest. Israel had his version of a high priest, and Judah had their version of a high priest, and they were all separate. And Sheba is said to encompass Yemen and Ethiopia, right? So you have all of those correct institutions in threes, and now what we're going towards is now we have Christianity, Israelitism, or Yahwehism, whatever you want to call it, and then Islam. They're all everyone's unique version. If we don't, and both is probably going to happen, but if we don't come together and understand that, we'll stay and for those that stay stuck in the past, these 3 groups are going to war with each other, right? There's enough basis for each of them to come together, but if they do not, the only result is war, and both are likely to be true. There's probably going to be a group of people who, in each side, are gonna be like, okay, let's bring this together, and then another side that's like, this is heretical, this is blasphemy, fuck them niggas, we going to war or some shit, and that's just how life is, it just is and when I say there's an aspect of God that likes war, yeah. I'm not saying that encompasses his whole identity. It's that's probably the last thing God would want to do, right? But he's gonna find some fun in it. You know what I'm saying? It's fun to have a challenger, someone who can, even if, he's unchallenged, but you know what I'm saying? It's still fun to make a fair, if you get in the ring, you're a boxer. You know what I'm saying? It's fun. I mean, it's a sport, and it's a legitimate. It's a battle. It's rough doing that day in, day out, but there's a funness to it. You know what I mean, right? And so he's gonna find joy in it. It's a part of his essence. So. And sometimes you want to be a hero. Sometimes you just want to be a king. Sometimes you just want to sit some things out. That's just he's a living person. You can't just put him in one little box. You'll miss out on a lot of what he is, right? But yes, each people group, and this is going to happen spiritually within yourself, then it's gonna expand, societally, and then nation by nations, right? But each nation, whether they know it or not, has Israelites in them, because it was only prophesied that Judah would stay black, right? The Israelites were black. It was Judah will stay black till the end of time. That's in the Bible. You can expand that and make that the nation of Judah, right? So the nation of Judah, which would encompass the Levites, Judites, and Benjaminites, and there was some other integration of other tribes too. But as far as the other tribes, they could look like anybody. Like you couldn't tell, and even the Levites, because Levites were dispersed. They was charged to be dispersed between all of the tribes. So you have you. That's my tribe, right? But my tribe in another country could look completely different than me. It could be Asian. They could be white. They could be different nations of Africans. You know, yeah, they could look like anybody. You know, you can't. It'd be up to God to tell you specifically who you are. And that's mainly so that they can fulfill that role. It's like God's multiplying the role, because when I said there's only 3 sons of God, like if you look at from Adam, you have Cain, Abel, and Seth, right? Then you have Noah, and then you have Japheth, Shem, and Ham, right? You go to Abraham, it kind of goes like laterally and linearly, right? And it makes like a go cross, because he is 3 sons, but he also has like, I think he had like 10 kids, Abraham. But like Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob are a lateral, or a linear, like shit. They're this way, right? Basically. And then his other sons were this way. So you'd have Ishmael, Isaac, and then you have Medina, right? And they also all keep on perpetually filling these roles. They're just different iterations of the previous set. So when there's the 12 tribes, right? That if you count all of those, that's 9, right? When Jacob had his sons, he had 12. It just added another set of 3. The first 3 children of Jacob are his first 3 sons. The second set are again another iteration of those 3 individuals and those past individuals, and then so on and so forth, just adding another set of 3 at the end. And basically, the names of those tribes are specifically suited for whatever nation they're in. And I can't tell you which tribe is in which nation, because I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But basically, it's giving each nation back its cornerstone so that it can restore its unity with God, and then progress and grow in its own way in that fashion, right? Because like, I'm probably well suited to do that for America, but you send me to another country, like I could do it. It's just I'm not the best suited for it. So there's probably that would be another version of me. You know what I'm saying? And vice versa. That individual in another country is just, I'm another version of them. You understand what I'm saying? Like we're just here to fit the role of wherever we're needed, right? And when I was doing the kings, the God, the king, and the man. The God would be Levi. The king would be Judah. Levi means to cling. Cling to God. Judah means praise. Praise God. Benjamin, the man, right? The one that would go forth to birth the new earth. Benjamin means at the right hand of God. So you're all 3. Don't like, just because you're mainly one does not discount that you're all 3, because Israel is a is a nation of kings and priests. So now God is opening the door for you to fit every role, just like He is. He can fit every role you need. He's the ultimate everything. So in essence, we become the ultimate everything. And that's how it perpetuates. This is how we rectify and fix everything. And these priesthoods, right, because of knowledge, which the tree of knowledge, right, this is how the powers that be try to, you know what I'm saying, conquer us. The opposite of that is conscience, right? Like it's not bad to have the knowledge if you are conscious enough and aware of your actions and what they could do, and the wages of manipulation and sin, right? So each nation, no matter where you at, no matter where, right? You had like a priesthood and a kinghood, right? Or a dynasty, whatever. Or you could have called the priesthood your court wizard or something. It's or a medicine man, a wise woman, all of that shit, right? It really doesn't matter because of the explosion of knowledge that's occurred. All of these priesthoods have become hidden. They're crypto priesthoods, and they had all of this, the knowledge of the stars, a lot of knowledge on the spiritual dynamics of how things work. What those really turned into today are your secret societies. They're crypto priesthoods, hidden priesthoods. You don't get to understand because you on the outside looking in, because I chose not to become a Mason like my daddy, but as far as it seems, I'm like, what? And then you have these Masons, and then you have these Eastern Stars, and then this is not even a lie. You can go and you can see that they got covens and these organizations that exist. They're just crypto priesthoods. What is a coven? A coven. It's another covenant with the spiritual being. It's essentially what Abraham did, right? They're just hidden. You won't know, and you just think it's a fraternity or a brotherhood or a sisterhood. No, these are crypto priesthoods, and they're using the knowledge and and corrupting wisdom. Not all of them, because I don't like to just blanket shit. But it's a prominent issue because there are individuals with ill intent that seek to corrupt these institutions, and because I wouldn't just discount my father as wicked. No, he was a Mason, but he was a good man. I respect my father. I honor him. So I can't say all of it, but that's basically what's happening. That's basically what we're dealing with. And it really is up to the individual to really fight and find what it is that is worth fighting for. And for me, that's the spirit of God and the spirit of liberty, man. We can't keep people boggled down or shackled, and either mentally, spiritually. We can't keep doing this shit. It's played out for one. It's time to start some shit over. But it's just is that really the life you want to live? Is that what you really want to perpetuate? Is your sense of entitlement or power, or your sense of control over a situation, I got my fucking share, selfishness, really truly beneficial and advantageous to life and what it could offer, what it could be, it could be so much better. It could be so, and everybody could fucking win. Everybody could fucking, eat. Everybody can slay the day. You know what I'm saying? It's just, that's what the fuck I want. You know what I'm saying? People to just to be liberated and understand that, like, how liberating God is. But it's an effort that's put in with that, and we can do it. I mean, we here. We can do this shit. So that's it. Go on.